Hi there, my name's Chris, and if we're just meeting, I work for Packet Pioneer. I'm a protocol analyst by trade, and I also do Wireshark consulting. So what I wanted to show you guys is the Viavi end user experience score and how I can look for those similar types of metrics in the packets, but as one human being looking at one packet trace, I can get limited. I need to use automation in order to find network and application performance problems and do so quickly. And that's exactly what the EUE scoring enables me to do. So first, let me take a look at a PCAP. After all, protocol analysis is my game, and I'm sure you enjoy doing it too. So let's go ahead and take a look at Wireshark. So if I get in here to Wireshark, this is just a simple PCAP, and what it's showing us is a basic TCP connection, so SYN, SYNAC, ACK. One thing that I like to do is come over here and look at the delta time. That tells me about the network round trip time between the two endpoints. So in that handshake, I can learn a little bit about the network latency. After this, I see a client do a GET. So this is a request, and this is a 2-packet request, actually. The request was so big that it spanned larger than one could fit in one packet. So I have a large packet and then a smaller packet after that, and that's the complete request. Well, the server lets me know that my request got there. And I can see around my network round trip time, 110 milliseconds. I know my request got there, but check this out. This is where things get interesting. 20 full seconds later is where I see my HTTP 200 OK come back from that server. Now, what is this 20 seconds? Well, this is application delay. There's nothing that the client or network could have done to speed up this 20 seconds. The server has received our request, and now we're just waiting for it to begin responding. So this is why I love packets. Here in this example, the client was being blamed for network latency. The network was being blamed when in fact the network had nothing to do with it. So finding problems like this at the packet level is great, and the power of packets can really be seen when we hunt down problems like this. But here's the problem. This was just a single thread with one simple application. But what if I have hundreds of thousands of connections coming into an application array? As one protocol analyst, it's really hard to keep up with that rate of data. So that's why we turn to a product like the Viavi Observer End User Experience Score to help us to find delays like this in our applications. Let's see how that works. So here in the Viavi Observer Apex, we can see that our data is listed by sites, applications, by network, by UC, and I'm going to go ahead and start with sites. Let's just say, for example, that people in Berlin were experiencing slow application performance. Well, if I come down here to my end user experience, here I can see that the site Berlin has this user experience score. Now, this is a grade from 1 to 10 that lets me judge the experience that that end user is having. Now, delay is basically can be boiled down to the client, the network, the server, or even the application within that server. So my goal as an analyst is always to find which one is contributing the most to the delay. Then I can hone in on that problem domain in order to find the resolution. So if I come in here to end user experience score and I go ahead and click the 5.4, that shows me in Berlin that the network is looking healthy. The client also is looking healthy, but here I have some server degradation. And let's go ahead and see what kind of things were contributing to that reduced score. Here I have an unresponsive server during connection setup, a busy server, server taking too long. If I click application, then I can also see some application level issues. Slow data transfer due to inefficient use of TCP. So right there, that is great information. Now that would include all users coming in from Berlin, looking at all of their transactions to all applications. So this gives me a good idea of where I could start with troubleshooting those problems that the users in Berlin are experiencing. There's nothing wrong with the client or network. I can go straight to the application or server and then focus my attention there. But let's go ahead and take a look at another example. Let's take a look at the users in Denver. Let's say that they're complaining of some problems with applications. If I come in there, I can go ahead and click on the user experience score. It says 5.9. And in this case, here we have network related delays. So what contributed to that? Well, here I have round trip network delays, packet loss and retransmissions, also regular packet loss and retransmissions that are delaying that connection setup. So in this case for Denver, I know that the application is healthy, the server that is hosting that application looks okay, the client looks okay. But now packet loss, retransmissions are affecting that performance. Now I exonerate the data center, I exonerate the application, and now I'm going to focus on the network to try to find that root cause. So again, these are measurements that we can find in the packets, but we just can't keep up with the data rates as they're flying into our data centers these days or into our cloud environments. Using tools like the end user experience score, we can get an overall perception of that end user's performance and also what contributed to delays if they are suffering application problems. So thanks for checking out this video and stay tuned for more with the Viavi Observer.